I'm Dave Kaiser. Welcome to this career exploration video with our students at Park Center High School to do this taping. And we have two guests joining us today that are going to tell us about the career of early childhood education. They are Gretchen Dullinger. She is with the Early Childhood System in the Osseo School District. She's an early childhood program assistant, been in the field for 15 years. And next to her, Brianna Zenner, a director at Primrose School of Champlin Park. She's been in the field for 6 years. Welcome to both of you.
Thank you.
Here today we're talking about education and what got them to the career. So let's start where a lot of the students are that are watching in high school. We asked you what were important high school classes that you felt maybe got you into the career. Gretchen, you said English, art, and math. Brianna, psychology, family science, and child development. Gretchen, let's start with you. Why those three, and maybe specifically English? How does English help out in what you do each day now?
English helps out a lot when I'm writing grants, just emails to parents, the grammar that I need to, have when I write those emails and grants. It's just very helpful that I went through the English courses.
So those basics help in a lot of things that are day-to-day, maybe not always with the children, but with parents and everything as well. Brianna, you mentioned child development, and that might be something that high school students maybe don't even know is available. Tell us a little bit about how you got into that in high school.
It just, kind of a branch off of psychology and how kids develop and through the lifespan as well. But just knowing kind of the stages that kids go through, it's all pretty universal. And so understanding and knowing that eventually when you want to work with kids, you kind of need to know what's coming next.
And you also mentioned family science. We know a lot about other sciences. What's family science?
It's understanding the way moms and dads break down a typical family structure, non-typical family structures, understanding roles that everyone plays in a family, who cooks dinner, all that important kind of stuff is important to know where kids are coming from and what their home lives are like.
All right, so some ideas to think about as you're in high school and opportunities there. Let's talk about after high school then and the path. Brianna, you went to UW La Crosse. Biomedical major first of all, and then changed that idea. Tell us a little bit more about that change.
Yes, when I went to college I intended to be a physical therapist and then got into that and decided that was not going to be for me anymore. And then kind of just decided that psychology was a portion of that I really enjoyed, and kind of so I just went down that path. And really a psychology degree is so broad and kind of many paths you can take with that after graduating. So.
And Gretchen, we took a look at yours. We'll look at that again. University of Minnesota and your start, and then St. Thomas and the end, and a lot of education in the middle.
In between.
Tell us about the different paths you took in your college education. Why was it important to kind of have those multiple steps?
In the Osseo district and some other districts, you do need to have not only your 4-year degree, but a teaching license in early childhood.
Right.
So not in every district. Some smaller districts, they don't have that, but in the Osseo district. So after you get your 4-year degree, you just go on, get your license. It was just a few more classes to get my master's, so I decided to get that over with and do that, write my thesis. And later on in life is when I went back to get that second license at St. Thomas so I could move on and do more of a leadership role.
Okay, very good. Let's move on to those college classes and take a little closer look of what was important and what you would recommend, because a lot of times you look at that book when you go into college and there's so many classes to take and you don't know which might be most beneficial. Gretchen, you mentioned all early childhood and elementary ed classes and also English once again. Brianna, you mentioned child development, psychology, also early childhood education are all important, and you draw from those every day. Let's start with you, Gretchen. Elementary ed classes, tell us a little bit about what those are like when you get to college level.
It's more of a basic overview. I didn't really get into specific early childhood classes until I was in the licensing program. So just those basic elementary, get to know about kids, teaching. So just those basic classes were very helpful to know what I wanted to do.
And tell us a little bit more about English again. You brought it up a second time. Why again in college would you want to take English if you're going into this field?
I think now what I do is I'm the program assistant, so I don't know that, you write newsletters as a teacher, things like that, but as in my current position, writing papers in college really helped to what I do now.
Brianna, let's talk about your college classes a little bit more and some recommendations for the students who are watching. Sociology. Tell us about that and how that fits into this big picture.
It's all just in understanding, you know, when you look at a classroom of kids and understanding the hierarchies and the way that kids kind of naturally develop structure. And, you know, it's all, whether it's an adult level or a child level, you see it every day. So just understanding what motivates people to do certain things, why they seek reinforcements in certain ways, and just really trying to be able to understand that so you can try to help where a child needs help and understand what is causing them to do things, because then you can figure out how to make them stop if it's a negative behavior.
Sure. Let me ask both of you this. When you went into college, were the classes that you took the ones that you thought you would take to go into this career field? And I know it was a little different for you because you changed, but is this what you thought you would be taking as far as classes, or what did you think when you first got into this field?
Yeah, it was more, I was not necessarily intending this field. I kind of fell into this by not knowing what I wanted to do psychology-wise. I thought I would become a therapist or something like that, and just the steps that were required for that afterwards were just, at that point in my life, were something I didn't want to do anymore.
Sure.
So I kind of fell into this inadvertently. So, but it's so, with psychology, I mean, any type of career is going to be helped by your understanding of that. So definitely when I was taking child development and those types of things, it wasn't like, one day I'm going to teach kids. Right. So it was just kind of great that I had that, so I could end up in this, and I wouldn't do anything different. This is the path I'm on now for life. This will be the career that I do, so it was a happy accident, I guess.
Fantastic. Gretchen, how about for you? Were the classes, once you got into college, what you expected you would have to take and learn to get into this field, or was it a little different?
I kind of did the same thing as Brianna. I went into college going to IT, being a civil engineer, and that didn't work out.
Okay.
Either. So then I took an elementary ed course, and then decided that I did want to work with kids, and then found out that you can work with the little ones, and they have such great energy, and that's where I decided to go.
Keeps you running each day. Last question, we want to talk about other things that you might have done through college or through high school that maybe helped you into the field. A lot of times it's not just the classroom, but there's things outside. Brianna, you mentioned babysitting as a teenager was something that maybe helped you along this way. And Gretchen, you mentioned student teaching was a big help. Brianna, tell us about babysitting. I'm sure a lot of high school students do that.
Yeah.
How does that help in a career like this?
It really just kind of gives you an understanding of, on a very small scale, of what you might walk into. And I see with a lot of people I interview, applicants and that kind of thing, that's a lot of where they get their first step. If you don't like babysitting, you're not going to like this career, because it's times 10 or 20 in the classroom. So getting a good, experience of, this is what a real 2-year-old acts like, this is how it really is, it really kind of, okay, this is something I can do, or this is something I absolutely cannot do. So it's a really good kind of real world test.
And it's not just babysitting, I suppose, it's being around your own family, right?
Right.
Did you learn from your own family, your own family environment?
Yeah, and I was the one who, all the babies, I always had to be around the babies and hold my little cousins, and I now have 10 nieces and nephews, and I'd always would gravitate. I'd kind of leave the adults behind and go and play with the kids, and just, it was natural for me. So being around them, and then now translating that to what I do every day and helping teachers out, is you need to know before you go in.
Exactly.
Otherwise it's a shock.
Gretchen, student teaching. Take us back a little bit to what that experience was like and how you got into student teaching and it then benefited.
Student teaching is a requirement of the program when you're going through your licensure, but it is a clear picture of what it's going to be like when you are in the classroom.
Right.
So same thing, if you don't like that part of it, you're not going to like it when you go into the classroom, but it's real life and what you're going to be doing once you're in the classroom.
And we're going to have another video that talks about careers, but tell us a little bit about how student teaching then helped you vault into your first job. Was there a connection there?
There is a connection. I think that you learn those experiences and you are able to talk about those experiences during your interview process.
Very good. Well, thanks to the both of you for sharing a little bit about your education. Again, you hear a little bit about their path and what it was like in high school and when they went on to college. And we will have them back for another video you can be looking for that talks a little bit more about their career, because both of their careers have changed a little bit as time has gone on. Brianna, Gretchen, thank you very much for joining us. And also thanks to the Park Center High School students for helping out. And thank you for watching this North Hennepin Chamber of Commerce Career Education video.